Hey YouTube, and welcome to the second day of Inktober. I'm following a prompt list that I will link at the bottom of my page. The second day I'm doing Medusa, as you can see from the snakes. Doing mythical monsters, and I got this prompt list from Instagram. Now the original prompt list from Jake Parker, I tried and I'm like, I couldn't do it because I do mostly people and portraits, and it would be a challenge to draw from his list, but I want to keep doing what I'm comfortable with, especially if I have to draw like every day. So I'm gonna continue to draw people. Maybe I'll challenge myself another day or another month to do other things that I'm not really comfortable with. So actually, the drawing I liked a lot during the inking phase, but when I went into actually painting it and figuring out what to do with it, I had difficulties on it. So I honestly wish I would have stayed like this, just the ink, like nothing else, just outline, and I would have been done. During this drawing, I actually researched about Medusa. Honestly, before this, I would see her in movies and I would think of her as a monster and being evil. But after actually researching her, I found out what she actually went through and how she became who she became. And honestly, I think of her more as a hero to women and not just a monster, because even after she was harmed and turned into a monster, she still fought back. And then even after her death, she became a shield to protect. And I find that actually pretty inspiring. So her story, if you want to look into it, it's pretty sad to me. But even after her struggles, she still was able to rise, because out of her ashes, Pegasus was born, which is a horse with wings, and to me that's like a sign of freedom. So honestly, you take what you will from the story. It's a lot of different takes on it and what actually happened, but with history, like any other thing, you really don't know exactly what happened with that. So but from the little pieces I was able to pull together from each story, I find her to be more inspiring than someone to fear. So on this part is when I started doing the snakes, and honestly, I don't really do a lot of detail work. That's something that I've struggled with for a while, and I actually do want to work on. When I have like a couple of days or even a week to work on the piece, then I could take my time, go back to it. I won't get bored with it and I won't get frustrated. But doing something in a day, I can honestly say it's very challenging, especially doing something so big. Now, if I actually do small, which I don't, and I've tried, it would probably be easier. But since I draw on a on a larger scale, it's harder to complete this challenge. So in my future drawings, I will try to draw smaller, but they're not gonna look as nice as far as the detail. I'm not an illustrator. I don't draw illustrations, and I don't draw mangas, animes, anything like that. So in high school, I did draw fashion figures, which I guess is on that scale, but I haven't drawn like that in over, I'm telling my age, in over 10 years. So I found it very difficult to do this challenge. But right now I'm just ink in the background because I got confused, honestly, between the snakes and like whose body went to who and what was what. And so I'm like, I'm just gonna go ahead and black out the background to try to make it easier for myself and make it quicker. Now on this, I honestly wish I would have went in a little bit more detail with the pen and ink on the snakes. I might go back and work on it a little more after this, but since it's supposed to be a day challenge, I wanted to complete it and show you how it looks after that day. And if I do choose to use this piece on my website to sell, then I'm definitely going to go back on and work on it more. And it's so funny though, but my son was laughing at me because he's like, yeah, what's up with the snake? And it's a snake on there that's mouth is open and it's supposed to be coming towards you. And I do need to work on my perception and um, on things. So I found it funny. He was like, it doesn't even look like a snake. It looks like it's moaning in pain instead of trying to get you. So I found that really funny. So right here, I'm just going in and trying to do from light to dark, darker being in the background, further ground, and lighter being in the front, to try to give a little bit more depth on the picture. And I haven't worked in a grayscale since college when I used to do charcoal drawing, so it's similar but not. I definitely need to go back to my roots and start doing things that I used to do to try to get a little better in my art, since I don't draw that often. I draw maybe a few times a year, so I'm trying to get back into doing it a little bit more and making it into actual career now that all my kids are in school. So with this, I wish that I would have added hair instead of just snakes. Now when I was looking at Medusa, I seen a lot of pictures that had just the snakes, but then I seen one drawing where they used hair and snakes, and I was like, oh, that's so pretty. And I'm like, oh, I can't go back and change it because it's ink. And I could maybe if I added some acrylic paint, but I don't want to destroy it trying to change it and make it look better. I'm just gonna keep what I have and work with it. So right now I'm just using colored pencils to go in a little bit more detail. Just using the ink, I found it difficult since I don't have that many shades. I have like maybe 3 different shades of gray and black. So I want to go in and go back to what I know, which is pencils, and do a little bit more detail on her face to make it look a little bit more realistic, or a little bit to my liking, what I'm used to. Now I'm just going in with the marker to darken up the lines and make it a little bit more defined. I wanted to outline all of them, but then I was like, it would make it look the snakes that were in the foreground wouldn't, they would all look the same. So right now I'm just trying to work on shading and doing her face. And honestly, the mouth, the way it's shaped, I wanted to have like a tongue, her tongue, like a forked tongue coming out, like snake tongue. And I didn't do it because I'm like, oh my gosh, what color am I going to do it? And what if I do it? And I end up messing it up. So her lips look like that because I originally wanted to have her tongue coming out. So it looks a little funny, but I just kept it that way for now. Maybe I'll draw later I'll draw a side sketch and see how it'll look, and then I'll add it. So right now I'm just going in with my ballpoint pen and doing a little more details. I wish I would have went in more with this and did a little bit more, but like I said, since the picture is a little bigger, the detail and the timing, it was just difficult for me. So I try to do this before my kids get home, so I'm on a time crunch. If I'm going past 8 hour mark, then I'm done, which this took me about how long, about 4.5 5 hours to do this one, which is a long time. It's just I had trouble doing it, so it took me longer trying to figure it out. So once I get used to this process of drawing with ink every day, I think my future pieces probably will be a little better, because I'll be a little more used to handling them and what to do and not to do with them. So this one, it's, to me it looks a little bit more amateur, but what are you gonna do? I got lazy with it and just tried to make it look somewhat like her. As you can see, that's the snake that looked funny that he laughed at. So and then I'm gonna go in and try to shade a little bit more, and then I used the watercolor metallic paint to go in and try to do scales on her. So I'm just nitpicking with it a little bit more, always doing something, trying to fix it. So this is when I'm going in with the watercolor and I'm trying to make it seem like scales. You can't really see it, but once you tilt the page a little bit, you'll be able to see it. But I think the finished copy is okay. So thank you so much for watching my video, and I hope my future Inktobers will be better. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.
Bet you if you sink, you'd swim a little further. And I bet you if you cried, you'd understand me better. So I take a little time just sailing down the river, and I'm throwing out my line to see if I can catch the feeling of being. How still the night feels.